everybody, it's Zach again at newtutor.com. Was coming in and watching the news this morning, and I saw it last night and the day before as the EU starts to take away personal savings accounts of the people. And it's happening first in Cyprus, and people in Greece are going nuts, and people are saying, what's going to be next? Italy? Will Italy be next? Will Germany, France be next? Because the EU is going to start taking bank accounts from the people, the savings accounts, especially the ones that are federalized and belong to the government anyway. And people like you out there who have put money into your savings accounts and federal accounts are starting to get worried. And we see that today because the Dow is going down. The EU markets have declined, and the Dow is taking a hit today. You know, and they spent the last few months, I mean, they knew this was coming. The financial powers that be knew this was coming because they plan ahead, and they've been pumping the Dow up the last few months, and you've been seeing all these headlines about, hey, how high the Dow is, and woohoo, the Dow's going up, and we've hit new records, and they're just padding for the fall. That's what they're doing. They're padding. They're pumping in tons of Treasury dollars, Federal Reserve notes, into the market to pump it up, getting ready for a fall. That's what this is not brain science. All you have to do is be a student of history and look and see what they've done before. Other countries, other nations, when they go through an economic collapse, at what they do, and this is exactly what they do. And this is why a number of years ago I got out of my 401k, cashed it in. Yeah, I took a penalty for that, and I lost some money. Big deal. I still had the majority left over. And I know other people who are doing that as well. They're getting out of the market. I'm not telling you what to do. You do your own thing. Hey, don't take financial advice from me, but I can be a student of history and see what has happened before and what's happening now, and realize we're going to go through an economic collapse. The country, the world is broke. They've overspent. They partied too long and didn't have a way to pay it. So I'm gonna do another video about this later. But I was into Bitcoin. I cashed out of my Bitcoin, and I'll do another video about that in a few days. But people are so hungry for alternative currencies, they're going to things like Bitcoin, which really isn't backed by anything. But it is, in my opinion, a way to have an honest weight and measure, because it's even though it's not backed by something tangible, it cannot be manipulated. And so I think in that respect it did. But I got out of it just recently, just yesterday actually. I cashed it in and I traded it in for some gold and silver that's going to be delivered here, and it's going to be for the community. And it's a bubble, I think, and it's eventually going to go. Everybody, all throughout history, people always go back to what is real money: gold and silver. And you can see that in the scriptures. I mean, it's all throughout the scriptures. But we see it as history goes by. Folks, silver is manipulated. I think if you really want to weather this economic collapse that's coming, you should buy some silver. Silver is highly, highly manipulated right now. Really, at the low end, it should be $200 an ounce. But really, historically, just 100 years ago, a dime was used to pay a day's wage. One silver dime. And in 1964, actually 1965, they started using non-silver dimes. They took the silver out of the currency, and that's the first step to collapse. Rome did it. Other countries have done it. And so a dime is used to pay a day's wage all throughout history. Even 2,000 years ago, up to 100 years ago in this country, a dime was used to pay a day's wage. So if you go do the mathematics on that, and there's other people who have great videos on that, if you run the mathematics on what is a day's wage, really an ounce of silver should be about $1,200. $1,200 an ounce. And what's it selling for today? Right now, I just checked, $28 and change. It's highly, highly manipulated by JP Morgan and some of these other banks who have huge silver holdings and who have put short positions in place on the market, and they're not allowing it to go above 35. But eventually, that's going to cave in, and silver is going to go back up to where its historic value is, and it's going to have a ratio from gold to silver the way history has dictated it should. And right now, it does not have that. And so, what's going to happen? I don't know. We're going to see, watch and see. But I'm telling you, I've been saying this for a long time on my channel. We're in for an economic collapse, and I believe this is tied to the last days. I believe we're in the last days. And I'm going to do a video on that shortly as well. But, what does that mean for you? How do you prepare? Get out of the markets. Get out of cash. Get out of debt. Get out of paper. Put something in tangible assets, whether it be commodities like gold and silver, or rice and beans, or wheat and sugar, or salt, and get some land, get some livestock, get a garden going, get something that's going to sustain your family through the hard times that are coming. Folks, I know so many Americans who think that, because we're America, nothing's ever going to happen bad to us. And not only that, but we're a Christian nation, so God would never let us suffer. I hear Christian after Christian tell me, hey, God will never let us suffer. We're going to get raptured before it gets really bad. You are deluded. You're deluded. Go home, read your Bible. Thanks.